Are you using Claude just for basic chatting and coding? Well, that's where most people tend to stop out, but you're missing out on a lot here. Claude is so much more than that. And I'm going to show you the best of Claude. By the end of this video, not only will you have a solid understanding on how to use Claude, but you're going to be able to orchestrate the entire system to how you want to use it. So what exactly will we cover? We are going to cover Claude Chat, Claude Artifacts, Projects, Cowork, connectors and plugins, skills, dispatch, schedule, browser, code, and CLI. Those are the main features of Claude. I promise you, if you understand these main concepts and you know how to use it, you are covered. You have literally cracked down what Claude is about. Okay, so first things first, we need to go to Claude's site. This is claude.com. And I think we need to understand what Claude actually is. Now, Claude is developed by Anthropic, and Claude is not just simply any AI, not at all. It is considered as the gold standards for developers, and I would even go as far to say for businesses. Let's understand what Claude is and what it's not. It's not a generator for images or videos. So if you're looking to create images or videos, it's not that. It's not an overall package. I would say OpenAI is probably the best, but what Claude is the best at, and is considered again as the top of the top, is for brainstorming, it's for advanced reasoning, and massive context window. So what does that mean basically? If you are interested in coding, or you're interested in complex thinking, or you're interested in anything that requires deep analysis, Claude is one of the best AIs for that. There is not many other AIs that can compete when it comes to Claude. And this is why I would say developers and businesses tend to gravitate towards Claude. Even the government of the US is trying to partner with Anthropic because there's just not many that can compete with Claude. Now, before we do anything else, let's have a look at the Claude prices. I think that's one of the first things that anyone would ever look at. I know I do. Right, whenever I check an app, I need to know what the price is that we're talking about. So, as you can see, this is in dollars. We're in the US page. Claude is actually one of the most expensive AIs out there. Now, you're looking at this and you're thinking, okay, these prices look generic, like most AI prices, but don't be fooled. The prices per token that is used is the most important. So the amount that one token costs is much more compared to every other AI. So you're going to use up your AI and your tokens really quickly, and the usage goes out fast. So as you can see, there's 3 plans, but I would say there's actually 4 plans. But let's just see what we got here. So free plan is just the generic usage. The only thing is that it's just the usage is quite low, as you would expect for a free tier. The difference between Pro that you will notice immediately is higher usage, but you also get access to some features like Cowork and Code and Research. That's the main difference that you will see in terms of features. And then you will see the max plan. Max plan actually has 2 plans, and it's 5 times and 20 times, as you can see right here. And it is the same plan as the Pro plan, but it's just 5 times more. And the 20 plan is 20 times more than the Pro use. So if you're starting out, again, just start with the free plan and see if you like it, see if you want to use it. And then if you like it, then I would say you're quickly going to want to use Pro plan. So once you've signed in, you'll see a page like this. But before we actually look into their page, I want to show you a different page, because I think this is a very important page. Is status.claude.com. This is a very, very important page in my opinion, and not just with Claude, but with any site. And you want to see the status, and the status basically tells you whether the AI is working properly or not. There's been too many occasions where the AI is not working, and I'm like, why is it not working? And then you go to Claude status, and you'll see there's an issue. At the moment, all system is operational, but you should save the link or subscribe to the updates, assuming you're taking AI and Claude seriously. And just if you find that there's something wrong, just have a look at the site and it'll tell you whether there's something wrong. And as you can see, everything looks good, but there was some outrage from before. So there was some red there. This was like a few hours ago. But everything else, and it'll tell you for each service as well. So for Claude AI, for platform, APIs, Claude Code, and Claude Government. And it'll give you some extra details if you need them. But at the end of the day, the only thing you really want to know if it's working or not. You don't really care for any other information. So we go to our site. This is Claude's site. So once you've signed in, there are two sites. The browser version, which is what I'm showing you right now, and there's also the desktop versions. This is what I would recommend you use the desktop version, and it's easy, just download it. I think you can find it here, and you can see it. Did I already download it? Where is it? Okay, yeah, download it. This is the one. So just download this button. I'm using Windows, but whatever app you're using, just use that one. So once you've downloaded, the reason why I would suggest that you use the desktop version is because unlike the browser, you have on the desktop some features that you don't have access to on the browser. One feature is the Cowork and the Claude Code. So Claude Code and Claude Cowork, you don't have access to that on the browser. So on the browser, you just have chats, and that's it. You don't really have access to anything else. Projects and artifacts. Now, I'll get into more details in these particular features, but right now, what I would like to do is just navigate to settings. This is one of the first things that you will do once you sign up to Claude. As you can see, go to settings, go to your general settings, and just give us some information about yourself. One of the first things I would say is just give yourself, give it a description. I'm an engineer, and then just give it some context of who you are. So whatever you are, I'm an engineer, and this is in context with me. And the reason why, this is a global context, and the reason why is I would recommend to do that is so that whenever you chat to Claude, it understands who you are as a person and what you are, and it will understand your level of knowledge, and it will talk to you like the way you are. So I'm an engineer, so it will talk to me like I'm an engineer. So if you're an accountant, say you're an accountant and you're from London, and or wherever, or you're from New York or wherever, and it will speak to you knowing that you're an accountant and you're from wherever you are. So it's just so much more useful instead of having to constantly tell Claude, hey, I know this, you don't need to tell me this, just tell me like I know my stuff. Another thing I think is important to watch out for is the usage. As you can see, I'm using the Pro plan, but I normally get the Max plan. I'm not doing as much coding at the moment, so I just thought just stick with the Pro plan. But the usage plan is useful because it tells you how much usage you have left. Because the thing is with Claude is it has a 5-hour rolling window, and this is really annoying because there's not other AIs, some AIs don't actually do this, but with Claude it does. So you have a 5-hour window, and you have a set number of tokens that you can use within that window, and then it will reset once the 5-hour window is gone. And then you will notice another limit. It's called the weekly limit. So again, it doesn't matter what plan you have, you will have the weekly limit, and mine will reset Tuesday at 2 p.m. So you will have a set number of limits of tokens that you can use within the weekend, within that week. And it does not matter what your plans are, it just has that limit usage. And if you do somehow use your full limit, then you have two options. You could either, one, wait for your plan to reset, your weekly reset to reset, or two is buy some extra tokens, which is what we see here, extra usage. So you can set this up if you want, but bear in mind you will have to pay extra for this. Right, so now that we got that settings covered, let's do one of the first things that most people will do is go to chats. That's the first page that you will be shown. And I think it's important to understand what AI chat, Claude Chat, is about. As I said, it is one of the best at advanced reasoning and brainstorming. You use Claude Chat for chatting, for asking questions, brainstorming, getting advice. Think of Claude Chat as your personal advisor. I really do think on a personal level that Claude, and I've tested all the AIs, well, most of the AIs, and Claude is one of the best when it comes to complex thinking, and it's not perfect. Don't fully trust it. That's one of the tips I would say is always question it, not just with Claude but with every AI. Always question it. Like it may sound reasonable and it may sound like it's convincing, but there's been many occasions where I've been burned. Always, if it's very important, then question it. But let's give it a try first, right? So this is it'll ask you how can it help. Now you have many options here. I think the first thing you should select is depending on what model you want to use, and there are several options. There's Opus, there's Sonnet, there's Haiku, and the numbers behind that is just the version of the models that we are using. There are older models as well, but you don't want, unless you really want to use the old models for whatever reason, I don't know why, but these are the three recommended models to use. Haiku, Sonnet, Opus. Haiku, as you can imagine, is the lowest, Sonnet is the medium, and Opus is the highest model, is the best model. But Haiku is like, as you can see, it's for fastest and you want quick answers. Sonnet is like a fine balance, it's a medium, it's mostly for efficient. This is the one I tend to use mostly. Opus, if you know you're going to use very high complex thinking of analysts, or maybe you want deep insight, or maybe you wanted to do some heavy lifting. The thing is, what I find annoying with Claude is that once you choose a model, you're kind of stuck with that model for that particular chat. You can't really change chat, so you have to understand what is this chat about and what models you would like to use. Now I'm going to ask it some simple questions about the weather, so I know I don't need much thinking power. So we're going to use the lowest, the Haiku, and just say, hey, what is the weather going to be like tomorrow? So what will the weather be like tomorrow in London, UK? That's where I am right now. Let's see what it says. So tomorrow's weather is 50 Fahrenheit and, well, 53.6, 12 Celsius, 20% chance of rain. Generally decent for London. Yeah, that is true. That's generally the norms. So there you go. Now, if for some reason I need much more thinking power, again, I can't change the model, but what I can do is extend the thinking. So I can just toggle this button. So if you know you got a question that you want to ask and you want to just, a bit more thinking power, then just use extended thinking. And it just boosts up the model, but it's still the same model. So it really does depend. However, just remember it uses more tokens. Just like the other models, the higher the model you use, the more tokens it will use, and the more your usage limit will run out quickly. So just bear that something in mind. Also, some of the other options are here. I think if you want to add some context, maybe you want to add some files or photos, we'll add projects later. Skills as well, connectors. I will touch that later on, so I won't go into that too much at the moment. But these are the main things I want to mention. Web search and research. Web search basically means that if you have a question like I just did right now, I asked it what's the weather going to be like. It will immediately do a web search, and as you can see, I don't know if you can see it clearly because the gray background, but it says weather data from Google. So Claude actually got this information from Google. So it's a web search and it got it from Google. Now for research, when will you be using research? Research is mostly if you have some deep analysis or you want some in-depth research. So imagine I have a business and I want to figure out what are my 5 top competitors. So I could ask Claude, listen, can you find out about my 5 top competitors? Get me as much information about them. Tell me what their features are, what they specialize in, how much money are they making, what features are they using, where can I come in, etc, etc, etc. So I want to find out the gap. So I will toggle this and you'll get this research mode. Now I don't need research mode, this is just weather, but the annoying thing about research is that it does take approximately 5 to 20 or half an hour for it to complete. So once you start the research, it could take a while to get the information back, but it will do a thorough research. Right, so that is mostly all you really need to know about Claude Chat. There's not much more to it, but there is some things that you should know that are some nice features. One is the artifact. Now the artifact, I should explain a little bit more, is think of it as a playground. It's a standalone playground, and with this you are able to generate codes, code content like, and documents or interactive apps. So you can create like a website, a diagram, games, apps and tools. So whatever information you give it, you can tell Claude, listen, create an artifact, create like a little website or something. And these are great for like presentations that you want to show to other people. You want to share this information, or maybe you want to create it for yourself so you can have like a visual cue. So yeah, so just think of it like a little standalone playground. That's the best way I can describe it. So let's have a little play around with this at the moment. So we can use one of the inspirations, or we can create our own. So let's create our own for now. So right now I would like to create a little site about Mauritius, okay? And decide which model you want to use. We're going to switch to Haiku because I know that we're not going to need to use a lot of thinking power. So we're going to create a little website, and it's going to ask us some questions. Let me ask you a few questions. Okay. What do this is a personal project. What problem does this solve? And what does it do? It's a help manage. Okay, so it's provide analysts, recommends or insight. That's probably the best way to describe it. How far along are you? Just an idea, need help. Yep, that's the best way. Okay, it's asking too many questions. I know what I want to create. So can you create a simple site about Mauritius. Please collect the data from Wikipedia about Mauritius. Yeah. Just you. Yes, just me. Yeah, just me. It's no, make it a static site. We don't need anything fancy, just a simple website. Perfect. And I actually did not tell it what code to use, so it looks like it's creating with simple HTML, CSS, and I don't see any JavaScript yet, but just looks like HTML and CSS. So as you can see, it's got the information from Wikipedia. It tells you what it does. And here's my site. Whoa. Okay, it looks nice, I think. No pictures or anything, but it does the job, right? This is like some basic information. Mauritius, Republic of Mauritius. Yep. A rainbow island. Okay. 1.2 million peeps. Yeah, okay. Independence from 1968 from Great Britain, by the way. I'm London as well, so it's all cool. Yeah, okay. Anyway, either way, all this information came from Wikipedia, as you can see. And if you want to see the code, this is what the code looks like. Again, looks like typical HTML, CSS. There's no JavaScript or any kind. So this is great. It's just a little preview. You can use this information, you can copy as HTML, or you can publish this. Now the thing is, you can actually publish this site live so that anyone can view this site. So I don't know, do I want to publish the site? I don't really want to, but okay, fine. I'll do it. Okay, so let's see it for real. Ha! There you go, guys. I have just created a real site that anyone can see. Literally anyone can see this site. And information source from Wikipedia. Yeah, that looks good. Okay, there you go. And I didn't even do nothing. I literally did not do anything. Claude generated this for me, and you can publish this. Now, obviously, it's a very simple site. If I wanted to, I can create a domain link or something, but that's just going extra. Let's create another artifacts. This was an interesting one. Let's create another one. Let's create a game. I know. And we're not going to let Claude ask me a bunch of questions. I know what game we're going to create. We're going to create a game. A hangman game. I used to play this game a lot. Can you create a hangman game? Wow. Oh, and it looks like it's using React. You can see it right there immediately. So it's got an SVG, use effect. So this is a bit of a complicated game. I would imagine it to be a complicated game. Yeah. Okay, it's taking a little while. And it's using Sonnet 4.6. Okay, so there you go, guys. It's created my own hangman game. Literally within less than a minute. I did not do nothing. So let's play this game. Let's have a little tester. So E. Okay, I got one answer correctly. A. Okay. A, E, I. O. Oh shoot, I got 3 mistakes left. S. No, I gotta be. Okay, I need to get this right. C. Come on, man. What is this? N. Okay, I got N right. I think I know it. Let me see. No, I don't know it. T? Where's T? What? What is this? Okay, come on. Come on, what is it? Quick, quick, make up your mind. M? Thunder? Okay, thunder. Now let's have a look at the code. So this is my game. Again, React, so nothing crazy here. I can copy this as a TSX. I can publish this game. Let's just have a quick test, see if it is a real game. Yes, there it is. It's all there for you guys. Okay, so that's basically it. That's the gist of Artifacts. There are a bunch of more options you can, as you can see from the pre-templates by Anthropic. They give you a bunch of things you can do, like measured words, color contrast checker, you know, team activity ideas, and yeah, blah blah blah. Okay, so another one is projects. Now project, allow me to explain what project is. Project. Okay, so the best way I can describe Claude Project is, think of it as a self-dedicated, self-contained workspace where you can talk about one specific topic. So imagine you want to talk about business, all about your business. You can include files like all your finance. You can include all your customers, your CRM. You could include your business plan. You could include all kinds of assets. You could even include your logo, your image, and all that in that project, in that self-contained workspace. And every conversation you talk within that workspace will be all about your business. And Claude will immediately know what you're talking about, because it will look at your assets, your files in other words, and it will immediately understand what you are talking about without having you to give it context. Because there are many times when you have a conversation and you're constantly having to tell Claude or AI, this is what I'm talking about, this is the information, can we talk about this? But instead, if you set this up one time, you don't have to do it again. Claude will immediately, so if you open a new chat and you want to talk about something specific, like this chat is about money, this chat is about marketing, this chat is about how do I make my business more efficient, how do I increase stocks, you know, and etc, etc, etc. That's what Claude Project is. It's a well organized with persistent memory. I think that's the best way to describe it. So let's give it a test. So you go to Claude, go to your project. It should be under the chat tabs. You'll see it there. And we're going to create a project. And let's say I want to create a project about booking a booking. I want to plan our holiday to Mauritius, right, my native country. So I would recommend anyone. So give it a title, holiday to Mauritius. I am planning my holiday trip to Mauritius from London, UK. Create the project, and there it is. It's created the project. Now it's given me a few options. Now before we do anything else, let's give it some context. This is instruction. Basically, before you create any conversation, before any conversation happen, Claude will immediately look into this instruction box, and this instruction box gives Claude basically how you would like it to converse with it. So we are going to write, I want to plan my holiday trip to Mauritius from London, UK. I want to have the best time. Okay, I just gave it some set of instructions. So now it will look into instructions. So every conversation we start, it will just look at this quickly. It will skim through it and try to keep it short. If it's too long, I notice that it tends to forget a couple of things. So it's always to keep it concise as possible. And then this one here is also important. The files. This is where you can include assets, PDF files, documents, image, or whatever. I don't actually have any files to put in there, but we'll create some context. So first one is the timeline. Let's just say we want to give it a timeline. My timeline. I plan to depart on May 14 and return and stay for 2 weeks. Yeah, 2 weeks is too short, by the way. If you're going to Mauritius, 2 weeks is way too short, but just keeping it in context. So yeah, that's my timeline. Okay, it's created a timeline. So this file here, so not only will Claude look at my instructions, but it will sometimes, depending if it's in context, it will look into my timeline assets. Let's create another one. Let's give it a budget. My budget. And my budget for the entire holiday to Mauritius is let's pretend we're on a very tight budget, so 1,000. That's very tight, guys, but it can be done. So now it knows my budget, it knows my timeline, and it knows my instructions. I want to have the best time, so let's create some chats. Can you find the cheapest ticket prices? Now bear in mind, guys, I have not said anything else in this chat, right? I've not said I'm from London. I've not said that I'm going to Mauritius. I want to go to Mauritius. I have not said my budget or my timeline. I've not given it any context whatsoever. But if this goes the way I think it should go, it should read my instructions, it should look at my budget and my timeline, and it will look online. It should be a web search, and it will find me the cheapest tickets at the exact timeline and at my budget price. So let's hope this works. Okay, let's hope this works. Okay. Okay, you can immediately see it says London to Mauritius, May 14, guys. It knows my budget, it knows my timeline. Look, my budget is £1,500 right here. Can you see that? That's my budget for 2 weeks. It's done it. And these are, and my answers are, damn, £648. Is this for real? I might have to check that site out, because that's a grab. Okay, so it was successful. I gave it no context whatsoever, but it immediately saw my assets and my instructions. Okay, so now let's go back and let's test it again. Okay, so look, as you can see, it's created the conversation, cheapest ticket prices. Let's create another chat, right? Let's create another chat, and it should immediately know my context. So what will the weather be like in Mauritius Okay, I'm asking it what the weather will be like, but I've not told it what the timeline is. When I go, yeah, when I go, and I go, yeah. Ah ha 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 ha. May 14 to 28, so in 2 weeks. So the 76 Fahrenheit, guys. This is no joke. And what is that in Celsius? 2021. That's not too bad. That's like London's hottest weather. Yeah, that's not too bad. Light rains. Okay. Anyway, it's done the job. You understand. So this is what project is. So I can open multiple conversations and I don't have to tell Claude constantly what this conversation is about. It immediately knows what I'm talking about. Okay, so let's test something else. Let's go to Cowork. But before I test anything out with Cowork, I want to explain what Cowork is. So what is Claude Coworks? Well, this is where I would say the automation things tend to happen. Think of it as your desktop agent, where it can do things on your computer just like you can, but it's limited, but it can do a lot of the things. So it can manage your local files, your spreadsheet, your documents. It can connect to apps, connect to files, basically set up automation so you don't have to do it. So yeah, so it's good at running skills and connecting things. If you got complex jobs, you can get it to do it for you. So such as the things that you can do is it can read, create files, delete files, create spreadsheets, PDF files, connect to apps, maybe like Gmail, and look at your emails and decide, and you tell it what it should keep or what it should delete. Or maybe you have a list of emails where you want to find just receipts. Whatever it is, it can do it for you. Alright, so let's create a new Coworks. What we would like to do is create a spreadsheet, and this spreadsheet should contain the cheapest ticket prices from London to Mauritius. Okay, first things first, we'll need to choose the model Haiku, which is fine. Choose a folder to save your file. So I'm going to create a file. Actually, let me just create a file. London to Mauritius. Okay, I've just created it. So basically I want all my files, so Claude could only modify any files within this folder. That's what my plan is. So we'll need to find that. There it is. Give it access. Good, it now has access. Now let's give it the instructions. So the instruction is, can you find cheapest ticket prices from London to Mauritius? The date is, the departure date is May 14. I think that's the one we used from last time. And I plan to stay for 2 weeks. In this spreadsheet, start with the lowest price, include the airlines. What else do I want to include? The links and any other important info. Okay, let's see how this goes. I actually forgot to add context, but we can do that afterwards, at any moment. So it's looking, okay, departure date, spreadsheet, and you can see if you want to see what sites it's searching for, just click the search the web. So these are the sites that it's looking for the cheapest price. It uses there's no skill as far as I know. Let's run a command and it's done. So it's created a spreadsheet, £296. If that's true, £296, then yeah, I'm packing my bags, mate. Okay, so let's see if it really did create the file. So this is the folder, and there it is. There's the file. Let's open it up. Perfect. So May 14, economy, duration 14 hours, return date, links. Okay, I love it. Can you see this, guys, by the way? Yeah, I'll make this bigger. But yeah, here's the price. Okay, so it's done it. Yeah, it's done it. Okay, so right now it's done it. The job here, the file is created, no problems whatsoever. Right, so let's go a bit more complex. Let's connect it to our app. Right, let's connect it. Let's do some connection. And we can actually do that from here. Connectors and plugins. But I think it's important for me to explain this to you guys first. So what we're going to do is explain what connectors and plugins, because I think there's a very important distinction between those two, and it can be confusing for some people. So connectors, think of it as one app. So connecting to one app at a time. So you are connecting to Google Gmail, you are connecting to Calendar, you are connecting to Slack, you are connecting to your CRM, right? Whatever it is, you are connecting to an app. That's all it is. It's that simple. Nothing more complex than that. Plugins, on the other hand, is like a workflow. You're connecting one connector to another connector. It's like a whole series of tasks. If you have like an app and you created an app and you git commit it, normally in the past you would have to go through a CI/CD process. But with plugins, what you can do is connect to your GitHub account, and then you can you can actually test your app, and then you can test it, give it a proper testing process, and then you pass it on to a real human PR, so for someone to review the code. And then once that's done, then you can finally merge it to the main branch. That's one example. Or maybe you have like a data and you want to analyze the data, and then you want to pass your data to some dashboard, and then you also want to pass it to your email address, and etc, etc, etc. So you are creating a plugin. What we are going to do right now is connect it to our Google Calendar. So imagine I did book my ticket, right? And I booked it on May 14. Can we say to Claude, you know what, can you update my Google Calendar and insert the date that I'm leaving and the return date? And that's it. So here we go. Can you update my Google Calendar? I have booked the ticket from May 14 to 28. Yeah, can you update my Google Calendar? I have to book the ticket from May 14 to 28. Yeah, so just pretend I've already booked the ticket. I've already gone to the airlines and I've done the whole process. So it should ask me, I need to connect to my Google Calendar. Okay, it says I need to connect. Now I can connect it through here. Go to manage connectors, and I can connect it from here, or I can tell the chat to do it for me. Can you connect me to my Google Calendar? So I don't need to go and find it. Okay, there you go, guys. It's asking to connect for me. All I have to do is just click this button, connect it, give it permission. Yes, I've given it permission. Perfect. I am connected to my Google Calendar, and I want to see here. This is my Google Calendar, and as you can see, May 14 is right here. Nothing is booked yet. So click connect. Yep, I'll be able to connect. Okay, we are now connected. Can you update my calendar? Yeah, I don't actually use Google Calendar, so as you can see, it's empty. I barely use it. I've connected it. I've created an event on your Mauritius trip. Has it done it? No, it hasn't. Oh, there it is. There it is. It's done it. Okay, so trip to Mauritius from 14 to 28. My 2 weeks holiday is confirmed. What info has it given me? 2 weeks vacation to Mauritius. Wow, I wish this was true, guys. I really wish this was true. And I will be very busy. You know what? At its prices, I might have to consider it. Alright, so we have booked our holiday. We are going to Mauritius for 2 weeks. Unfortunately, it's not true, but you know what I'm saying. You know what I'm talking about. Anyway, next one is Claude Skills. So let's talk about Claude Skills. This is what we are going to be checking out next. Alright, so what is Claude Skills? To put it simple, it's a playbook. That's all it is. It's a recipe, it's an ingredient, it's a set of rules. It's creating a specific output. So you have a task, it needs to go, like if you have a data and you want it to process the data in a specific way, then you use Claude Skill. If you want to just create a short command so that it does something without having you to constantly explain things, this is where Claude Skill comes in. It's perfect for that. It's a way of creating a custom automation. To use Claude Skill to its full ability, you should also use dispatch and schedule. And this is what I'm going to explain next. And then I'll show you the demonstration. So imagine you created your Claude Skill. You've created your rules, your playbook, whatever. Now Claude Dispatch is a one-off trigger. You don't have to constantly create a chat. It will understand that this is a trigger. It's going to work in the background. And you just trigger it one time. Now Claude Schedule is similar to Claude Dispatch and it works in the background, but it will automatically trigger the Claude skills for you without having you telling it. It's like an alarm clock. Every morning you wake up 6 o'clock in the morning, the alarm rings every day. You don't have to do anything beyond that. It's the same thing. Claude Schedule is like a cron job. And together, you actually create a brilliant Claude automation system. This is the power of Claude automation. This is the power of using Claude together. You create the reusable workflow, and then once you've created that rulebook, the playbook, you then decide that if you want to dispatch it, a one-off trigger, or you want to create a schedule, and it's a recurring trigger. And that's the complete automation. So what I would like to do is create a skill where we'll use an example where maybe I create what the weather, can you find out what the weather is like tomorrow? And if the weather is going to rain, can you update my calendar for me so that in the morning I can see what the weather will be like. So that's one way of doing it. So let's do that right now. So first things first, we need to create the skill. So go to customize. There are other ways of doing it, or creating the skill, but I prefer doing it this way. Create new skill. And this is an example. We don't need to worry about that, but let's create a new skill. So right now, we'll give it a name. London rain. So that's the name of the skill. I want to know if it will rain tomorrow in London, and if it is a probability of 50% or over, then also update my Google Calendar tomorrow so I can see it first thing in the morning in my calendar. Okay, so this is the exact instructions on how to do this. So find out the weather from web search Google weather. You can use an API or whatever, but I'm keeping it as simple as possible. Then let me know in chat if it will rain and give me necessary info too, like if I need to bring an umbrella. Also, if the rain probability is 50% or over, then also create event tomorrow. Actually, find out the weather tomorrow. So find out the tomorrow weather and create an event tomorrow in my Google Calendar first thing in the morning, so I know to bring, so I know it will rain. Yeah, okay, that's fine. Let's go with that. Okay, so it has created my instructions. Let's see if that actually works. So London rain, let's give this an actual test. So go to dispatch, London rain. Actually, I need to update it, refresh it. London rain. See background task. Okay, London rain. Okay, so there is. It's working. It's searching the web. But will it update my Google Calendar? That's the key thing. Yes, set up a Google Calendar. It's done it. Actually, is what am I talking about? Done. Tomorrow is looking dry in London. Only 5% chance of rain. So you won't need to worry about umbrella. Since that's well below 50% threshold, I didn't create a calendar reminder. That is true. So let's have a look at my calendar. Yep. Okay, it worked. It actually worked. There you go, guys. And my skill is here. Yeah, that looks great. That's one way of doing it. You can clean it up as well. If you want, you can use edit with Claude, and Claude will, make this look easier to write. But this is a simple instruction, nothing crazy. Oh, actually, here's the information as well. This is much neater than seeing the background, right? So let's do, and you can do it anytime. And all I have to do is create London rain, and it will just trigger it. The one thing I've noticed about this batch is it takes a little longer, whereas if I had done this within my chat, it would have been much quicker. So as you can see, it has given me the information, and it has not updated my calendar because it's well below 50%. Now the good thing about this batch is that you can also do it through your phone, so you can find out for your phone and you can update it. Okay, so we've created the skill, we've created a dispatch. Now let's create a schedule. I don't want to have to keep telling Claude that can you check the weather and can you update my calendar. Wouldn't it be perfect if it did it by itself? So it would check every day, and then if it's going to rain, it will automatically update my Google Calendar. Well, that's what schedule is for. And key awake basically means is that it won't completely shut down your computer. It will be in a sleep trance, not exactly sleep, but almost sleep. So it will still be awake, but it will be in a sleep trance. So we created our skill, and we're going to say London. We have already created a London rain. That was the key skill word. Yeah, we don't need to do anything. We just need to, oh, look, there you go. It's giving me my option, London rain. I don't need to do anything else. That's the command, and that's the instructions. So give it an instruction, a description. Lets me know if it will rain tomorrow, and will also update my calendar appropriately. Okay, and this, I want to set this daily, and we'll set this like 9 o'clock in the evening every single day. So it's the latest time. So in the morning when I wake up, I look at my Google Calendar. Hey, listen, is it going to rain? Oh, it's raining. Bring my coat, my umbrella, etc., etc. Yeah, but imagine doing this for anything. Imagine, cleaning up your spam folders in your email, or maybe you want to update your to-do files, or maybe you need to organize some of your apps, or etc., etc., etc. Imagine what you could do with this possibility. So you can select the model. We're going to use Haiku. It uses less token, and there's not much brain power. We don't need to worry about folder in this particular case. Okay, perfect. It has set up my schedule every day at 9 o'clock, but I want to see if it's actually working, right? I want to see if it's actually working. So let's give it a run test, a manual test, and we can find out. Here it is, it's running. We can click on it and see what it says. Okay, so right now it's giving me the output. Perfect. It will rain tomorrow, blah blah blah. Since I have not created a calendar event, okay, there you go. It works. I love it. It's perfect. Well, it does the job anyway. Okay, so that was the cloud automation system. The next thing I think I would like to cover is Claude Browser. Okay, so what is Claude Browser? Claude Browser basically is like an AI within your browser, and it will do things for you, just like you would do things on your sites, whatever site you are on. It will actually do it for you, and it's very useful, like for web search, filing, clicking buttons, and most importantly, repetitive tasks. However, you must bear in mind that you have to stay above the legal terms and conditions. For example, web scraping is a big no-no. Claude will actually probably block you itself or prevent it from doing it, but web scraping is something I think many of us would like to use. I have created apps in the past, and I know many clients would love this, where you go into a site like Instagram, you find leads like profile, and you take down all the profile leads, you record it, I think Claude will actually prevent you from doing that, and also Instagram could potentially block you because it has an anti-bot system, and many sites has anti-bots. So if they suspect you are using a bot, they might block you. So use this with precaution. But Claude generally likes to stay within a safe line, so you might not have to worry about this, but I'm just giving you guys a heads up because there is a chance you can get banned. But in most cases, it's fine. As long as you're using it for normal stuff, Claude Browser is brilliant. And I would say that it actually probably saves you more time using Claude Browser than doing it yourself, like typing it in, finding information. Claude Browser could do it in just a fraction of a second. Okay, first things first, we will need to install Claude Browser. So go to the desktop or even Play Store, whatever. I think get app and extension. So there it is. Chrome. Claude navigates, click buttons and fill forms in your browser. Works in Cowork. Brilliant. So I've already installed it. So it should look here. You can find it on the store, on the app extensions. So once you get on there, just click on the icon, the Claude icon, and tell it what you want it to do. Basically, it is literally an AI bot within your browser. What we are going to do right now, I want to find out what the weather is going to be like in UK capitals, UK, Mauritius and France, and in the capital city. So what's the weather forecast going to be? And I wanted to find it on a specific site, Met Office. So that's what I'm going to instruct it to do right now. Can you go to Met Office website and find out what the weather will be like in the capital of England, Mauritius and France. Okay. Alright, my hands are here. I've not done anything at all. So let's see if it does it. Okay, it's asking me for approval, permission, and it's telling me what it's about to do. So we are going to give it permission. Let's say yes, approve plan. Okay, look, my hands are here. I've not done anything yet. Look, it's looking at London. It's taking screenshots. It's found that London is going to be, it's taking London 10 Celsius light rain. It actually is a bit of light rain outside, to be honest. Mauritius 22 Celsius. Oh, I would love to be there right now, especially with all this light rain going on in London. Look, now it's looking in France, Paris, the city of love. It's only 13 Celsius, not that great. And look, it's found out everything. It's done. And I'll just expand this a bit. Perfect. I've successfully gathered weather information. There it is, London today and what it's like. Wow, light rain next hour. Mauritius 22 Celsius. The contrast is quite interesting. Port Louis is enjoying warm, clear weather typical of its tropical location. London is experiencing light rains with cool temperature. Yeah, I can see the weather outside. It is exactly how it's described. And Paris has sunny intervals with mild spring weather. And I have not done anything. Imagine I did this myself. It would have maybe taken me like a minute or so, right? I mean, maybe roughly the same time. But with Claude, it did it in, I would say, maybe 15, 20 seconds. And it's much more convenient as well. Yeah, I mean, this is just a small sample, but imagine what you could do with this, like all kinds of things. It could save you a lot of time from repetitive tasks. It's going to be extremely convenient. Now let's move on to the next big thing. The next big thing is, of course, what Claude is known for. Claude Code. This is what everyone knows what Claude to be known for. It's all about coding. I predominantly use Claude just for coding, but all the other stuff are just extra features, extra benefits. And as you can imagine, it writes codes for you, it writes your apps for you, it does your debugging, does your testing, and it does all kinds of things. Now there are two types of Claude Code, Claude Code and Claude CLI. I'll get to CLI in a minute, but we want to talk about Claude Code specifically. And it's a specific work space. So we'll go to our code workspace, which is right here. And it will create your app basically for you in almost any language you want. Claude is extremely powerful. It's probably one of the best AI coding you can get. It is, I would say, on par with OpenAI. Every other AI is good, but OpenAI and Anthropic Claude is the best when it comes to coding. Alright, so we are going to create a simple counter app. Okay, so actually I need to create the folder again. So let's do that. Counter app. A counter app is basically an app where you increment or decrement the number. So let's see if that works. Okay, so can you create a simple counter app where I can increment and decrement the counter, the displayed counter? Let's see if that works. What am I doing? Go. Oh, I should have said maybe JavaScript or something. React. Okay, it's using a terminal. Whoa, that was quick. There it is, guys. That was really quick. I was thinking it might take a little longer than that. So there it is. So does it actually work? Moment of truth. Yep, increment is working. Yep, reset. It's done it. There it is. It's all done. And did it create it on my folder? Yes, it's an index HTML file. It's a simple HTML file. It's an index HTML visible. It's all there. Can I see the code? Like, can I preview the code? I mean, I can open it on VS Code, but no, you can't see it here. Okay, so this is the console right here. I love it. Okay, so there it is. There's nothing more to it than that. Yeah, there's nothing more to it than that. So that's Claude Code. It's it creates the code within your preview, within your Claude Code desktop. But obviously this is just sample. This is just easy use. If you're thinking about using it coding for serious, then you kind of need to go beyond Claude Code. And this is where Claude CLI comes in. Actually, I should remind you that you can use Claude Code and you can do coding and you can connect it to your GitHub account. I find it inconvenient. I don't know anyone that would do it this way. I think of Claude Code desktop version as like the playground version. So you can test it out, you can create all kinds of things. Maybe you can create a Figma or like a wireframe. I think that's a good way of doing it. But if you're serious about coding, then you're going to have to use Claude CLI or even like a AI coding editor like Cursor or something, or Windsurf. But let me explain what Claude CLI stands for, or what it is. It's basically Claude living within your terminal, within your system. So whenever you open up your editor or whenever you open up your terminal, your scripting language, you have access to Claude, and Claude is AI is stored within there, and then you just tell it, you give it the prompt commands, and the prompt is where you create, or it will have access to your folder within your app. It will understand what your app is, and it will understand what it should do, and it will understand the context as well, which is the most important. And you can do all kinds of things. You can write Claude MDs, MD files and skills and etc, etc. And it has some specific commands as well. So instead of just me yapping on about this, let's actually demonstrate this. So what I'm going to do is we're going to actually continue with this. So I can just open this. You can use cursor. I personally like using VS Code. I'm not really a big with AI editors these days, but you know, it depends on what you prefer. So yes, let's open this up. Yep, I trust it. Okay, so we'll close this and we'll open this file. Let's make this bigger. We can close this. I don't really want to use this. Yeah, we can close this. As you can see, it's a simple HTML, CSS, and this is just JavaScript right here. It's very simple. There's nothing crazy going on here. Okay, so first things first, if you want to install Claude CLI to your computer, we'll need to install Claude CLI. That's a separate app, by the way. It's not like Claude Desktop. Claude Desktop is a different feature. Claude CLI is another feature that you need to install. So just go to Claude's Desktop or even the browser and go to your settings and then go to Claude Code and it'll give you instructions. So click this and it'll tell you how to install Claude. So just follow the instructions. So I'm using Windows right now, and you can install it in numerous ways. Your desktop app, web, VS Code, terminal. I prefer to use terminal, but if you want, you can install it to your VS Code. And you can install it on your Mac, your Windows, however you want. I'm using Windows, so I would install it by this. Just follow this command, just tick this in and open your PowerShell. So just insert this and it will install it. So once you've installed it, open your terminal. And your terminal, you can access your terminal in many ways, but if you're using a Visual Studio Code, just open your terminal, which is this button here, Control J. I usually use my keyboard, so I don't ever use these buttons. But anyway, I've opened my terminal. Here's my terminal. So this is my terminal right now. And I'm using a bash scripting language, which I have to use, which is git bash. But whatever you're using, it doesn't matter. Claude will do it for you. So once you've opened your terminal and you're on your folder, make sure you are within your folder so that has context within your app that you're working on. So go to it and then just simply type Claude. That's it. Okay, and if you're doing this for the first time, it will ask you to log in and it will ask for authentication, and it's extremely simple. It will authenticate through your browser site. So you know, just follow the instructions, and then once you've done that, it will ask you whether you trust this folder. Just say yes, I trust this folder, and that's it. It's asking me, and now it will ask me to run a Claude init file. I would recommend just run the Claude init file. There's numerous of commands, but let's just write the Claude init file first. Basically, the Claude init will write a Claude MD file, and it just gives context to Claude on what your app is about and how to use it. And we're going to do that right now. So it's creating its Claude index, and it will ask you to give it a permission. I'll just say yes, give it full permission. It'll tell you how much tokens you're using. Yes, command, go ahead. And you might have to wait for a little while. Okay, it has done it. It is now completed. It has created my Claude file. It's giving me a summary. And let's have a look at this Claude file, by the way. So this is my Claude file. And this is what Claude has written. It has written that the file provides Claude Code on what it's working on, the overview, simple Claude counter application, which is right, HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. Yeah, this is big enough. So it's giving me the architectures, running the app, and development server notes. That's it. There's nothing more to it. Well, every time you open Claude, it will look at this file and it will understand immediately what this app is about, which is convenient. So there's a few other commands that I think is important. Obviously, if for some reason you are not logged in or you're having login issues, then use the logout or login command, and it will just tell you to re-authenticate. These are important commands. Another one which I think is important is usage. Right, so we're going to use that. It shows you plan usage limits. And just like we did earlier, it's basically a shortcut to the usage that we have used, your 5-hour rolling window. It still applies. And as you can see, my 5-hour rolling window has been applied, and the next reset will be 8:59. And it shows me my current weekly limits as well. And this is important. I think this is something to keep up to date. So if you are wary about your limits, usage is a nice command. Another useful command is something I use a lot is status. Status just gives you some basic info about your app, such as what is this, what model you are using. I'm using Haiku at the moment. And if you press the shift command, it will take you to config and usage. This is also another way of going to usage, but the usage command is just much shorter. So it also gives you config and status. So config is probably important as well. I would say very important, because you can set up how you want Claude to be. Some of the most useful ones are, I would say, is model, which model you are using, and you can change this up if you want. So it's just for general info. If you want to escape, just press the escape button. And let's say we want to change the model, right? If we want to change the model, so currently we are using Haiku. If we want to use Opus or Sonnet, which is the default, then we can just click up and then just go to default. So right now it's using, I've switched it to Sonnet. And yeah, so it's now useful. It's now using a Sonnet model. Also, another thing I think is important is thinking. Remember when we went back and we said each model has extended thinking? Well, we can also apply the same thing right here. So you, depending what you're using, use Alt and T. If you're using Mac, then it's I think it's Meta and T. But whatever it is, you'll know it. So if you know that the task requires some complex thinking, then enable extended thinking. So I'm going to leave it on, but bear in mind it uses more tokens as well. Let's do some things. Let's actually test some things out. So at the moment, I have 2 files. And I want to see it running actually. Let's go live. I'm using the extension live at the moment. So this is automatic. If you want, you can use this. It's a live server. It's an extension. Actually, let me see if I can find an extension for you in case you would like to use it. Live server. There it is. That's the live server. So if you want to create a live server, this is just a shortcut. So just go to live server and enable it. Okay. Alright, so I've enabled it. Here's the website and everything is working fine. Let's open the console log as well. Okay, this is the console log. So it looks good, nothing there. Alright, so let's say I want to change the color of the background. Okay, so go to Claude. Can you change the background color to gradient green? dark green to light green from left to right. Okay, let's see if it understands. It should understand that. Okay, so right now it's making some changes. Okay, as you can see, it's letting us know what code it has changed, and it has completed its task. So has it? There it is. It's all done, and it looks nice. It looks okay. Looks all right. So that's a simple way of doing it. Actually, let me. I don't know if this is difficult for you to see, so I'm going to change the theme of this app. Let's make it easier for you guys to read. Yeah, that looks easier. That looks much easier for you guys to read. Okay, open the terminal. There's a terminal. Can you see this, guys? This bit here, guys? This is the mode that you are on, right? So whenever you press the Shift and Tab command, it will switch between plan mode, normal mode. If you see nothing, that's normal mode, or the accept edit mode. Accept edit mode is basically you giving Claude CLI permission. It doesn't ask for your permission. It will just do everything. It will take the initiative. If you do plan mode, it will plan everything and let you know what the plan is before it execute the codes. That's what it's for. Normal mode is it plans a little bit, and every time it execute a code, it will wait for your command. That's all it is. So I want to set it on plan mode. I want it to ask me, show me the plan first before it does anything. And the next thing I want it to do now is I would like it to separate my files. So this is my index HTML file, and it's again HTML, CSS, and JavaScript file. What I would like it to do is break it up into smaller chunk files. HTML file, CSS file, and JavaScript file. So it's just a little bit nicer, right? So let's do that right now. Let's tell Claude to do that on plan mode. So can you break up my index HTML file? So I use the add command. So if you use the add command, it will point out all the available list files. So it's got it correct. So it will immediately know this is the file to look at. So can you break up my index HTML file into smaller files? HTML file, CSS file, and JS file. So it is more organized, and execute the command, and it should give me the plan before it execute. So I should see what it wants to do. So I've read the index HTML earlier. Yeah, come on, show me the plan. And it's updated the plan, and there's the plan, ready to execute the plan. So it has told me, like, it will blah blah blah. This is the file. It will create index HTML, style CSS, and script JS file. That sounds perfect. So verification looks all good. Okay, so now I can decide, do I want to give it auto accept, manual, tell Claude what to change. So if I'm not happy with the plan, I can just tell it what to change, or I can cancel altogether. But I'm happy with the plan, so let's give it an auto accept plan. So it will now execute the plan, and it should be really quickly, and it's using, this is the amount of tokens that's being used. It's always hard to navigate with the tokens. Like, every AI uses different amount of tokens and at different prices, but Claude is one of the most expensive AIs out there, so bear that in mind, which model you're using as well. So anyway, it's finished. The project is finished, and look, you can see that has changed. So let's have a look at this file. So index, and that's pure HTML. Okay, so let's look at our style file, and that is pure CSS file. And now finally our script file, which is the JS file, and everything is right there. It is perfect. So our file looks neater and nicer. Now bear in mind, this is a simple app. Imagine creating an actual app and using Claude. All you gotta do is open Claude and tell it what to do. Like, it has never been easier to create an app than ever before in the history. Like, don't ever trust AI completely. As good as it is, it does make a lot of mistakes, and I think if you are looking to build a solid app, you really do need to understand how it works underneath. But that's a conversation for another day. And yeah, so that's the gist of Claude CLI. One more thing is connect your GitHub account so you can use the the Git commands, so which like push, commit, and etc. And then also another thing I would say a useful command is security, which is something that Claude sets up for you. So it will check out the security for you. Well, apparently I'm not connected to my Git repo, but just use that. Once you've connected your Git repo, it will do that for you, and it does the security checks for you. Okay guys, so that sums up the video. I hope you've learned a lot from this. As you can see, there's so much to Claude, and if you are going to have a plan with Claude, a pay plan, then you might as well use everything, because Claude AI is one of the most expensive AIs out there, so use it to its full ability. If you have any questions, then hit me up. So yeah, besides from that, take care guys, love you, bye.